Hello, welcome to our unique learning system math lesson. My name is Charlotte Lucas. I am an autism low incidence mentor teacher with Richmond Public Schools, and I am so happy to be able to work with you today. Our math lesson today is adding money with regrouping to make a purchase. Some of the things that we will be discussing, we will align decimals when writing addition problems and using decimals. We will add by using a number line. We will regroup using addition, and we will identify the decimal point. Well, we've got a lot to do, so let's get started. Our problem for the day is a word problem where Mary Beth is making a purchase and she is purchasing 3 items. Therefore, we have to add 3 items in a row, and that is not hard. So what I'll do first is I will read the problem to you, and then we'll figure out how we can solve the problem. What I want to also say is when you're working with money and you're adding money, it's all about the decimal. The decimal has to be in the right spot. The ones in the ones place, the numbers in the ones place have to line up. The numbers in the tens place have to line up, and all of the whole numbers have to line up. Now, you know, when you're using a decimal, all of the money, all of the numbers on the right side of the decimal, those numbers are less than 100. When those numbers get to be more than 100, they move over, and all of the numbers that are on the left side of the decimal, those numbers are whole dollars. Dollars on this side, on the left side, cents on the right side. So first I'll read the problem to you. Mary Beth is buying items for the play. She buys an extension cord for $5.76. Twist ties for $2 and rubber bands for $1.15. Which items cost the most? Well, let's first take care of that part. To find out which item costs the most, when you're dealing with money, you always, and with any number, you always start with the highest value first. And our highest value is in the dollars place. And in the dollars place, we have $5, $2, and $1. So if we compare those numbers, we don't have to compare anything else, because once we know that in the dollars place, which number is the highest, we know we have the one that will cost the most. So for this problem, the $5.76 is has the most value. I would also like to notice for you to notice that when you're using your decimal point, when you read it, you say and. $5.76. That's the way it works when you're working with numbers, when you're working with decimals. Now, let's look at the value. We have $5.76, $2 or $2.00, $1.15. How can we add that together? So let's give this a try. I'm going to try and add it here where we can write things down, and then we'll move back onto the unique and do our final calculation. What I first want to show you is how do numbers line up? Lining up your numbers is very, very important. If you line your numbers incorrectly, you won't be able to add and get the correct answer. So $5 and use our decimal 76 cents if we lined it up. Then if we line up $2 and 00 cents, well, let's move this over this way a little bit. $2 and 00 cents. And then our last number would be $1 and 15 cents. Now, let's look at that problem. That will never work. These numbers are not aligned correctly. All of the ones in the ones place are not together. All of the tens in the tens place are not together. And all of the dollars on the left side of the decimal are not together. But the most important thing is our decimals are not lined up. Your decimals should always line up when you're writing your problem. So the only way that this will work is if we line all of the numbers up. Let me see if this needs to move over one more time. If we line all of our numbers up so that all of the ones in the ones place are all under each other, all the tens in the tens place are under each other, all of our decimals are lined up together, and then all of our dollars, in this case, we only have one digit numbers in the dollars place, so they are all lined up together. And therefore, now we are able to add. And when we solve our problem, we still have to put our decimal point in line and keep our number, the answer, lined right underneath. You cannot have it move to the side. That will not be the right answer. So with that information, we can try and solve our problem. We're going to keep that in mind as we're working. So if we're looking at our number problem, we have to remember we have a ones place. We're going to talk a little bit about place value. We have our ones place, our tens place. That's the numbers to the right of the decimal. Then we have a ones place and tens place to the left side of the decimal. Those are for whole numbers. Those are for dollars. Now, you know you have a dollar when you have how much? How many cents will equal $1? Think about it. Excellent. We need 100 cents to equal $1. All right. So let's take a second. Let's see if we can figure out how we can add our numbers together. So if we start, and when you're adding, you always start in the ones place, the farthest numbers to the right. You must always start there when you're adding. That is very important. So we start in the ones place, and we have to add the numbers that are in the row together. So on the numbers in the ones place, we would be adding together the 6, the 0, and the 5. Well, if you have 6 and you add 0 to it, you're still just going to have 6. So we're just going to add the 6 and the 5. And what I want to do, I want to use the number line to add with today. You don't have to use a number line. You have to use whatever it is that gets you the correct answer. And if I use the number line, I always get the correct answer. So that's what I'm going to use today. So let me teach you how to use a number line. When you use the number line, you take the first number. Let's say, for instance, if we were adding 4 plus 9. All right. So if I am adding 4 plus 9, I would start with the 4 and I would move to the right to add 9 more. 4 plus 9. But in order to add 4 to 9, I have to move first before I start counting. So if I start on 4 and add 9 more, move and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4 plus 9 will be 13. Excellent. Let's try one more. Let's add 8 plus 7. Well, let's try 8 plus 8. That's a good number. 8 plus 8. So we're going to what? Start with the 8. Start here. And we're going to add 8 more. And if we add 8 more, we're going to move first and then start counting 1 through 8. So 8, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus 8 will equal 16. All right, so now we know how to use our number line. All right, let's add our first digits together. 6 plus 5. If I add 6 plus 5, let's see what answer we get using our number line. 6 plus 5. I start at 6 and add 5 more, moving to the right, because the numbers, when you add more, your numbers should get bigger. So we'll move to the right. Start at 6 and add 5. Move first and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The answer will be 11. And the answer is a 2-digit number. Now, when we want to put our answer in, we cannot put a 2-digit number in that place. There cannot be a 2-digit number there. And look at the number 11. The number 11 is a 1 in the ones place and a 1 in the tens place. So we would have to put the 1 that is in the ones place, we would have to put that in the ones place. And then the 1 that is in the tens place, we would have to regroup that and regroup it to the tens place. We would have to move that 1 to the tens place. And we would put it up. I'm going to put it up here because this is not like the unique program where everything is built in. This is just temporary. So now I've moved my 11, and see, that's still 11. 10, a 1 in the tens place and a 1 in the ones place is still the number 11, but everything is in the correct place. So now I'm in the tens place and I have to add up my tens. Remember, we're adding tens. That would be 1 plus 7 plus 1. Let's use our number line. Let's start with 1. This is really easy. If we start with 1 and we add 7, start with 1, move first, and then count 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The number is 8, but I still have one more. Don't forget that one. One more, the answer will be 9. All right, so we need to move a 9 to the 9 to this tens place. All right, so now we've added all the numbers on the right side of the decimal, and that's still not 100. That's still not 100. So we still only have part of $1 on the right-hand side, and that's fine. So now let's add the numbers, the whole numbers that are on the left side of the decimal. 5 plus 2 plus 1. We'll start with 5, and we will add 2. First, we will move and count to 2. Let's go. 1, 2, which is 7. Add one more, 1, which will be 8. Now we're able to move the 8 to the dollars place on the left side of the decimal. All of our decimals are lined up. All of our ones are lined up. All of our tens places lined up. And all of our dollars on the left-hand side are all lined up. And they equal. Well, you did a great job with that. Let's see. Let's try the next one. First, let's go to our unique program and let's add it here to make sure that we have the correct answer also. What I like about the unique program is when you get it right, you get a nice green box that tells you that you got it right. So let's do it in the unique program. 6 plus 5, we added that already together and we got how much? 11. Excellent. We got 11. So 11 is a 2-digit number. We have to put the 1 that's in the ones place. Excellent. Where are we going to put the 1 that's in the tens place? We have to move that up to the tens place, and that 1 goes there. Excellent. It's still 11. 1 in the tens place and 1 in the ones place. All right. Now, we added the 1 plus 7 plus 1, and we got 9. Excellent. You remembered. You're good. I don't have a good memory. So that's 9. We put that in. We got that right. Excellent. That is not a 2-digit number. So we did not have to regroup and add anything on the dollar sign. This is still less than $1, this amount. So we cannot put anything on the left-hand side. We don't carry anything over. We don't regroup. So now let's add the digits that are on the dollar side, the left-hand side of the decimal point. 5 plus 2 plus 1. Do you remember what the answer was? Yes, the answer was 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go down and put our numbers in. We get $8, and remember, when you have a digit, you say and, $8.91. Excellent. Well, I'm going to tell you something. This has told us that we have the correct answer. Well, what would happen if we used a calculator? You know, I am not opposed to using a calculator to check my answer, because when you're dealing with money, you really want to make sure you get it right. And when you're using a calculator to add, it's a good thing to know how to use that decimal point on your calculator. So our first number would be $5.76. So it would be 5 decimal 7 6. 5, don't forget that decimal point has to go in there. You just can't put 576. You have to use your decimal point. So we use that and we add. There's the number we just added in. I love this calculator. It keeps up with what I'm doing. So now the next number is $2, 2 and 0 cents. So that would be 2 and, which is your decimal, 0, 0. Now, some calculators, you wouldn't have to do the 0, 0, but I'm going to do it on here just to be sure. Not a problem. And 2 plus 0, 0, and we add it in. All right? See how the 2 just comes up? That's okay, because that's what calculators do. They have their own way of rolling. We're going to roll with them. Oh, I added. Look at what I did. I wound up adding extra stuff in when I was moving things around. We need to clear this calculator because now we have all the wrong numbers in. Let's clear, hit the C. I'm going to hit this CE also. That's just because I'm old school and I have to do it to make sure. So there are no numbers out there hanging about. Let's try it again. 5.76 plus 2.00 plus the last number 1.15, 1.15. We have all the numbers in. We're going to hit the equal button, and we get $8.91. Excellent. We did it right. I'm proud of us. All right. Let's go down to the next problem. Let's read that and see what we get. All right. On this problem, it says, of course, someone's going out and buying something, and this time it's Brent. Brent is buying items for the play. He buys a lens cover for 85 cents, wire for 63 cents, and drumsticks for $7.50. Which items cost the most? All right, let's see which one of these items cost the most. Now remember, when you are comparing money and any number, actually, you always start at the value that's the highest. And in this case, the dollars place is the highest place to start. There's 0 there, 0 there, and $7 here. So that means we don't have to go any farther. We know that $7 is higher than the other two numbers. So the number that the item that costs the most is the one that costs $7.50. Excellent. So how much will this purchase cost altogether? And when we're using the word altogether, that means does anybody know what operation are we using if we use the word altogether? What operation? Right here. The addition is the operation that we're using. Excellent. So our numbers are 85 cents. Do you notice that when you write 85 cents, it's a 0 in the dollars place, because on the left-hand side, because we don't have any dollars. And if we want to write it as money, we have to write it, we're using the dollar sign, 0 decimal 85, 85 cents. 63 cents, 0 decimal 63. that indicates that it's money. Otherwise, it's 63, but we don't know if it's money or not. So you have to put your decimal and you have to put the 0, but you do not use the cent sign. So let's add these numbers together. And let's try it on this one again, because we have our number line, and you know I like using the number line. So let's add our first row. And the first row that we're going to add is, of course, all the way over. You always, always, always start in the ones place when you're adding. Always start in the ones place. So 5 plus 3 in the ones place. 5 plus 3. So we're going to start at 5 and add 3. We're going to move to the right, but we're not going to start counting until we move. So 5, add 3. 1, 2, 3. 5 plus 3 will equal 8. So let's put our 8 under the ones place, because that's where we are. All right. Now let's add the tens place. 8 plus 6 plus 5. Start with the 8 using our number line. I use the number line because if I use the number line, I never get the wrong answer. All right, 8, and we're going to add 6. Start at 8, move first, and then count 6 more. Moving to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 14, but we still have to add that 5. There are 3 rows of numbers. We have to add that 5. Let's add 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we get 19. This is what 19 is. 19 is 9 in the ones place and 1 in the tens place. Also, 19 tens. Remember, we're talking about 19 tens. If we're counting 19 tens, it's not 19 pennies. 19 pennies is just 19 cents. 19 tens, let's figure how much that is in real time when we're talking about money. So we're going to use our fingers. Nothing wrong with using fingers. Let's see how much 19 tens will be if we're using dimes. Let's skip count by 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. That's 10. And 10 is 100, and that's already $1. 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 190. And we're talking about tens. So, and we're talking about money. So it would be 190. 190. 190 is 100 of that is $1. So we have to put our decimal point in place. 190. So we know that we have $1, and can the dollar go in the tens place? No, it cannot. We must move that dollar over to the dollars place. But first, let's put that 9 in its place because it has a place. Let's put that 9 here in the tens place, and then let's put this 1 over here, and this has to go up high, up high. We just added 1 to the dollars place. Excellent. Excellent. That is a great job. So now we get to add 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, but guess what? The 0, a 0 in this place means there are no dollars at this number. So we can't add anything. A 0 in this place means there's no dollars in that place. So we can't add anything. All we're adding this time is 1 plus 7. So if we have 1, if we're using our number line and we move it over 7 times to the right, because if we move it over 7 times to the right, we're making the numbers lot. We're adding it all together and the numbers will get bigger if we move to the right. So 1 plus 7, let's go. You move first and then you count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I get the number 8. I can take my 8 and put it in place on this side, because this is not a 2-digit number. That is a 1-digit number. It has to stay here in place. And we get 898. Let's go to the unique system and see what happens there. Whew, I love this unique system. I don't have to go through all that moving around and rigmarole. All I have to do is click in and write in the number. And you have to remember what the numbers are, because Miss Lucas does not have a good memory. All right, 5 plus 3. Oh, we got to start. Remember, we have to start all the way on the one side when we start adding. 5 plus 3, do you remember what that was? 5 plus 3, I could go 5, 6, 7, 8. And we get what? 8. If we got it right, of course, we're going to get a green frame. Excellent. We have a green frame. That is not a 2-digit number. I do not need to regroup onto the tens place. So that's fine. Let's, how much is, we had 8 plus 6 plus 5. Do you remember what that was? 8 plus 6 plus 5. We added that together on the other page. What number did we get? Was it 19? I remember. I'm with you. It's 19. So if it's a 2-digit number, remember, we have to put the 9 that is on the right-hand side here, and we have to regroup and move that digit that now makes us on the dollar side, that $1, onto, we have to add it there. We regrouped it and put it in the dollars place where it belonged. And now all we have to do is add. Remember, $0, don't have anything to add. $0, we don't have anything to add. But we have 7 to add right here, and the 1 that we regrouped and brought over. So 7 plus 1, do you remember what that was? Yeah, 7 plus 1 would be, let's get it in there. Well, there it is. 7 plus 1 would be 8. And we have the right number. Well, let's see if we have, if we did it correctly, if we used a calculator, because you know I want to use the calculator. Oh, I've got a lot of skills we can use today. First, we have to clear our board. What are we going to hit? We can hit this C right here to clear it, but I also hit that just to make sure that everything is cleared out. That's old school. That's the way I roll, okay? All right. The first number that we're going to add is 85 cents, which is a decimal. You have to put that decimal in there. Decimal 85. That's how come you have to be careful when using a calculator and adding money. You have to use your decimals correctly. You will not get the right answer otherwise. The next number, 63 cents, starts with a decimal. Decimal 6. Uh-oh, Miss Lucas made a mistake again. My. Well, make a mistake, erase the mistake. Let's start again. Decimal 85, that's our first number. 85. I didn't use the add bar, did I? The add plus, boom, I get it right this time. 63 cents, decimal 63. And our last number is $7.50, and I have to hit plus first, plus 7.50. Do you think it's going to equal what we have? Let's see. $8.98. I'm proud of me. I'm proud of you. You did a very good job. You did a very good job. All right. Let's see. We've added these two problems together, and we did a very good job. We used the number line. Is that what we said we were going to do? Let's see if we did everything that we said we were going to do today. All right. We aligned our decimals. When we were adding, we did a very good job. We know if they're not in line, we will not get the right answer. We added using the number line. And you don't have to use the number line. That's what I use, because if I use a number line, I will always get it right. Then we regrouped. That means we could not put a 2-digit number in the place value of, say, for instance, the ones when we were using 11, or the tens place when we were using 19, because that was $1.90. We couldn't do that. We had to regroup and put things back in the place it belonged in. And we identified the decimal point and how it works, especially when we're using the calculator. And we added that calculator in there because when using and counting money, the decimal point has to be used on your calculator. If you don't use your calculator with the decimal, you will not get the right answer. Well, you've done a great job. I'm very proud of you. We've learned a lot today. I hope I get to see you again. Bye-bye.